people to address their major social needs in their communities, like protecting human rights, improving working conditions, and achieving gender equality. At the same time, trade may also be an obstacle to combating climate change. According to WTO, that is World Trade Organization, open trade would increase industrial production and eventually increase CO2 emissions. And in most international organizations, including the UN or WTO, conventional wisdom is that international trade supports sustainable development. So in today's talk and today's speaker will throw light on how far these statements regarding trade and sustainability, whether national or international, is true so far. So without wasting any time, let's invite today's speaker, Miss Shreshtha. She is a graduated scholar from Shyam Lal College, Morning, and currently pursuing MCom from Delhi School of Economics, University of Delhi. So, Miss Shreshtha, you could start your presentation now. Best of luck.
Thank you, Shailendra. So, good evening, everyone. My name is Shreshtha, as briefly introduced by Shailendra. First of all, I would like to thank the GSTS team and today's guest of honor for giving me this opportunity to present my views on such a prestigious platform. And it's such an honor to be here. And to go ahead, I'll be presenting my screen with my presentation. Yeah, I hope it's visible. So,
Yes, it is with.
what? You can see my screen, right?
Yes, it is
Okay.
visible.
Yes. So, like Shailendra said, I am doing my master's from Department of Commerce. I have done my graduation from Shyam Lal College, and I've done my schooling from SIDV Public School. And I'm glad to be here today. Today, I'll be talking about the evolution of India's trade and sustainability that I like to call from ancient ages to AI. But before going ahead, before starting the presentation, I would like to highlight why do we need to know about this. See, being a commerce student, I have read a lot about trade, Indian trade particularly. And today, when we acknowledged the need of sustainability in every phase of our life, in every platform, there was a need to acknowledge the strong link of Indian trade and sustainability that is not even new. It's been established from ages. See, United Nations introduced the sustainable development goals, that is the 17 goals SDGs, in 2015. But this relationship of sustainability and India goes way back than that, right? When we talk about a place where economy, environment, and society goes together, or to say grows together, the name that comes in our mind is one, India. So when we are talking about trade, we are talking about Indian trade. There is a need to acknowledge and comprehend the continuity and changes in the trade patterns of India and its link with sustainability. So to going ahead, this is the sequence that I'll be following for today's presentation. The introduction, objectives of today's presentation, then the river legacy of India up to 8th century CE, followed by the sustainable trade between 8th to 18th century, then commercialization during the colonial era, and a dynamic evolution in the post-independence era, followed by the 21st century dynamics of Indian trade, and then the conclusion. So, introduction. India, as often known as the golden bird, has seen a dynamic evolution of trade practices. This is an evidence in itself of the adaptability of merchants and the integration of indigenous and foreign practices. It is because that we have survived the changes of times, the winds of changes, because at the root of this whole trade system, at the heart of it, is the ethos of sustainability, the resilience and flexibility of India's trade ecosystem. To study this dynamic evolution, I decided to dissect the trade patterns into several time zones. The first one is up to 8th century CE, in which we'll be talking about the Sapta Sindhu Sabhyata, then 8th to 18th century, whereby we'll be talking about Silk Route and maritime connections of India, then the 18th to mid 20th century of colonial era, then mid 20th century onwards, where we'll be talking about e-commerce, eco-friendliness, and AI, and finally 21st century globalization. I'll be talking about more about globalization and India's connection with the rest of the world, right? So, the objectives of today's presentation are to summarize, trace the evolution of India's trade practices, then identify patterns, innovations, and disruptions in trade practices, and study India's sustained legacy of trade and its intrinsic ethos of sustainability. So, sustainable trade practices up to 8th century CE, a revered legacy. India, up to the 8th century, has seen a trade model that was both economically prosperous and environmentally sustainable. It was because at the heart of these trade practices was the philosophical premises of dharma that emphasized righteousness and balance with nature. They emphasized on giving birth to ecological and eco-friendly techniques. That's why several commodities originated from ancient India, as it's mentioned here, silk and spices. These were the prominent commodities that were traded all around the world. They had very great demand in the rest of the world. Silk, especially, was originated at that time from the northeastern regions of India. It is uh, uh, taken from domesticated silkworms, and its fine threads are woven into lustrous textiles. They had great demand in Roman Empire. Similarly, spices. Indian spices of black pepper, cardamom, ginger, they had very great demand all around the world, especially in Mesopotamia and ancient Egypt. Spices were so valuable at that time that Indian spices were used as a medium of exchange, as a currency. So imagine what was their worth at that time. Similarly, cotton textiles. India had the monopoly over cotton textile, over production of cotton textiles for over around 3,000 years, right? So when we talk about Indian trade at that time, silk, spices, and cotton textiles were the prominent commodities that were traded. In fact, when we search on world trade, how world trade originated, so you will see it was the spices that motivated merchants to trade between countries. So spices and cotton textile, India had a great monopoly over it. Then beads, terracotta figures, seals, and semi-precious stones. You see, all these commodities were traded around the world, and we were not harming nature in any way. We were utilizing the resources in a very efficient way. And when we're talking about sustainability, using natural resources efficiently and economic benefit at the same time, we cannot miss the Sapta Sindhu Sabhyata, right? So Sapta Sindhu Sabhyata, one of the oldest civilizations of mankind, you see there was very delicately planned urban planning and town planning. As it's seen in the second picture, there was grid patterns of streets, there was proper drainage systems, covered drainage systems, there were domesticated bathrooms, and in the first picture you see the great bath. Water management systems were there, water conservation systems were there. So the and under the Sapta Sindhu Sabhyata, the discovery of Mohenjo-daro and Harappa civilization, they showcased a very intricately planned town systems and urban planning. Similarly, the discovery of Lothal, it was probably the world's most oldest dockyard in which was used for maritime trade. So you see, India had a very good maritime connections at that time. So in the under Sapta Sindhu Sabhyata, there were notable exports of silk, spices, and precious gemstones. So economically we were doing very good, and we were taking environment with us in a very sustainable way. We were using the resources. So many eco-friendly techniques originated in this time, such as the biodegradable packaging materials of leaves and cloth sacks. Then primary transport modes were bullock carts and boats. uh, See, when we are using bullock carts, we are using boats, we are not using anything, any like coal or for fuel, so we are not uh, putting any pollution in the environment. So there was no ecological degradation, there were no pollution, there were no carbon footprints at that time. Then sustainable never technologies were used. Traditional boat building techniques like coir and timber. Now coir and timber were easily available, they were in abundance at that time, and they had a faster regeneration cycle. So that's why these only products were used for boat building techniques. Then traditional agriculture practices like crop rotation, organic manures, and mixed cropping were used, and natural dyes. See the first picture; it is dyed by natural dyes. In the first step, it is painted yellow with flower extract. In the second step, it's washed off and it's dried off. Then in the third step, sheep dung is used to paint it blue. So that's how natural dyes are used for painting at that time. So up to the 8th century, we have seen that economically we were doing good, and we were using eco-friendly techniques at the same time. When we move forward to 8th to the 18th century, we will see that trade further sophisticated. How? Some of the highlights are given here. See, first, the Silk Route. We all know that Silk Route was a great network of trade routes that connected from east to the west, right? And India was in the middle of this trade web. So we acted both as a supplier and a consumer. But at the same time, we were not putting burden at any resources. Multiple commodity trade were done at these Silk routes. And then maritime connection. India had very strong and very old maritime connections. It probably as old as Indian civilization is. So we have strong links to Southeast Asia, Middle East, and the East African coast. See, maritime connection, maritime trade also come at its own cost, right? We need infrastructure, we need ports, we need fuel. So we have very sustainable answers to all these questions. For shipbuilding, we use eco-friendly material that we used up to the 8th century. So it was continued. This practice was continued in the further years. Then monsoon winds were used for navigation instead of coal to conserve the maritime environment. We were not using any fuel that could harm the environment, that could put pollutants in the environment. So these were the two highlights. The others are the Chola dynasty. And the Chola dynasty assured at the time when India was at the dominance of maritime trade. Okay, so trade were further sophisticated under Chola dynasty. Port cities like Nagapattinam, they flourished, and Chola navy ensured a very safer route, a very safer route for Indian trade to the other parts of the world. And then there were evidences of the connections with distant western realms of the evidence of Indian pottery were found at western countries too, under the Chola dynasty only. Then the Delhi Sultanate, the highlight of the medieval period. The major highlight was the policies of Delhi Sultanate that ensured food security and sustainable agriculture at the same time. So they introduced the canal irrigation system so that the farmers now do not have to depend on unpredictable monsoon weather, on monsoon rain. So this is how the production was increased. At the same time, we were using eco-friendly techniques. We were not using any mechanization or any chemicals for agriculture. So that's how environment was conserved, and economically we were doing better. So till the 18th century, we have seen before 8th century the Sapta Sindhu Sabhyata, then 8th to 18th century the Silk Route, the Chola dynasty, the Delhi Sultanate, and the maritime connections. Till now we were doing good on both ends, economically prosperous and environmentally sustainable. So India had this good image that we are good on world trade and we are not harming the environment at the same time. But when you will move forward on the timeline from 18th century onwards, you will see a decline in the environment and economic basis. How? Because we entered the colonization. Let's see how. Trade shifts during the colonial era, the capitalist and the exploitative turn. British East India Company evolved from a commercial trading venture to a formidable colonial power in India. See, East India Company's sole motive was maximizing their profits. To maximize the profit, they extracted natural resources from India as much as was possible. Okay, so the forest, which was earlier known as community assets, were now known to be revenue forests. The trees of teals and sal, they were extensively harvested from Indian forest and not for local use. They were exported to the Britain for infrastructure projects. Similarly, intensified mining was there, especially of coal, that degraded the quality of land. And forest acts were introduced, under which the forests were categorized into reserved, and then plan, and then protected, and then village forest. In the reserved forest, villagers were not allowed to enter. So till now, when we were seeing a local ecosystem were built, a balance between economy and ecology were built, it was disturbed and they were exposed to a alien system of resource extraction. Similarly, cash crops were intensively harvested. Cash crops like indigo, cotton, jute, they were extensively harvested. Till now, we were used to sustainable agriculture for sustenance, but now cash crops for profits were grown. So all this led to drain of wealth, deindustrialization of Indian traditional sectors, and commercialization of some sectors like sugarcane, cotton, and jute. So India, which was now till now, which was the exporter, prime exporter in the world, its position declined from exporter to a mere importer of finished goods and the exporter of natural resources that were extracted from here. So this had very severe environmental repercussions. Let's see how. Environmental implications are as follows. First one is soil depletion. So when we are doing monocropping, we are only harvesting cash crops. So the soil's quality was depleted because of nutrients were not, we are not using mixed cropping as before. So that's how soil quality was depleting. And then over extraction of water resources. So cash crops, especially cotton and jute, they are water intensive crops. They need a lot of water for cultivation, for harvesting. So uh, because only cash crops were grown, the water resources were over extracted. That this was also the reason that led to biodiversity loss. We are only growing cash crops. We are not using mixed cropping. We are not going for sustenance agriculture. So that's why biodiversity was also affected because pesticides were used at this time too. So the colonial era, marked predominantly by the capitalist and exploitative strategies of the British, ushered in significant trade shifts with lasting environmental repercussions. So now we have seen a decline on both economical and environmental end, right? So this model that we faced at the time of colonization, we are still trying to compensate the nature what was taken away from it. Our efforts till today, we are going towards sustainability because Indian natural resources were so much extracted that we need to work upon it till now. So let's just see how. So India's trade policy shift in the post-independence era. After independence, we had this daunting task of managing the economy and dealing with poverty, unemployment, industrialization. So at this time too, sustainability and environment was a cornerstone of all of our agendas. Industrialization and green revolution, they had dual impact, I would say. First one was the increase in productivity. The mechanization led to more production. In green revolution, we were having a use of high yielding variety of seeds. So the production was increased. Similarly, industrialization led to mechanization. Use of mechanization in agriculture led to more production. So we're producing more. But at the same time, environment was getting harmed because we were using chemicals, we were using fertilizers, we were using pesticides that was not good for the soil. Okay, so it was harming the soil. And similarly, that led to mechanization. So we were new to industries, we were new to industrialization. So we did not have any proper standards for disposing the industrial waste. So it was thrown away in water and the air pollution of industries. So that's how the environment was getting harmed. So in the late 1980s, we reoriented our approach, seeing this harm of nature, and then we introduced in 2000 the National Agriculture Policy, in which we focus more on organic farming, on sustenance farming, and in 2008 then we introduced the National Action Plan on Climate Change, under which we focus more on renewable resources. So emphasis is on renewable resources and their trade implications are as follows. First, the diversified energy basket, because India has a very huge scope in renewable resources. So reduce dependency on fossil fuel imports and a leverage in international energy trade negotiation. Similarly, especially India has a very strong edge in solar energy. So we have very good export potential there. Then geostrategic benefits, reduced oil dependency, reshaping India's foreign trade and policy imperatives. So you see how after independence, post-independence, we have reoriented our approach. Firstly, it was more on production, and then we were going towards sustainability too. So we were trying to meet both of the ends. But now we have entered the 21st century. So we are also making efforts towards sustainability. How? Let us see. When we talk about globalization in the 21st century, we see the demand for organic products are increasing globally, not only in India, globally. Consumers are becoming more aware of their needs and of conserving the nature. And why is the need to conserve the nature? So they are demanding more organic products, and India is the guru of producing organic products, right? This is our legacy. This is our that is woven in our entire lifestyle, right? To conserve nature. So India has an edge over this thing of maintaining sustainability and maintaining profits. So companies in India are going for green supply chain management. For example, a few days back, I ordered a mobile phone, and usually it comes in a plastic box, but this time it came in a cardboard box. So it's a green packaging. It was written it's a green packaging. So that's how companies are intervening the green techniques, the sustainability motives in their practices. Then responsible farming, CSR practices. I'll be talking about CSR practices in next slides too. Then digital revolution. This platform is also a digital platform over which we are talking. So if we have to go out, we have to meet a certain place and have the same talk, then we'll have to put so much pollution in the air, the carbon footprint that we will release in our travel. So that's reduced. Digital revolution is helping to conserve the environment. So MNCs operating in India are integrating CSR into their core business strategies. Let us see how. These are some of the big giant companies of India. You will see Reliance, TCS, HDFC Bank, ICICI, Infosys, ITC, and the list is over here. And these companies are going towards sustainability in their own ways. Let us see their sustainable initiatives. Like Tata Group has a Tata Sustainability Group, which oversees all of its efforts which towards green initiatives that they have. Then Reliance Industries has a water recycling plant in its Jamnagar refinery to use water in an efficient way. Then Infosys has this concept of green buildings. I was reading about that a few minutes ago only. It's that in the campus, all of the buildings are called green buildings because they are using energy in a very efficient way. It's called LEED certification, that is Leadership in Energy and Environmental Design. So they have put this concept of green building in all its campuses, that they use energy very efficiently. Then ITC Limited has introduced watershed development, and Mahindra is the first company in India that introduced the concept of pricing, intrinsic carbon pricing in its company. Then Wipro has eco initiatives, Godrej, Adani, Dabur. You see, all the MNCs, all the big companies in India are also using sustainable techniques, green initiatives. But India is a diverse country, and we go towards sustainability in our own ways. So this is how the unorganized sector is going towards sustainability. We are using traditional crafts. We are using khadi apparels. Now all of us has something made up of khadi in our wardrobes, right? Organic farming, cloth bags, natural dyes. You will see these all things are not even something new. We have been using these for years and years, for generations, I would say. So sustainability and ecology and economy has always been together for us. So these another thing is India has built this marvelous startup culture under which many companies are going towards sustainability, and they are introducing more sustainable products like Zepto, Molbio, Shiprocket. These are all of the unicorns in India. This is list is taken from the Forbes India. Then these are some other noteworthy green initiatives by Indian local trading communities. You will see traditional crafts, khadi movement, organic farming. The sari you see on the left, it's a sari dyed with natural flower. It's called cephal flower. You see pottery, you see bamboo products, cloth bags. So this is how sustainability has always been there for us. In conclusion, I have identified this six patterns from time zones to time zones. How? Let us see. The first one is survival instinct. See, India is a vast country, so there was a need to trade between regions in itself and the rest of the world. So we developed this survival instinct to innovate with time to time, with time zones to time zones. At, as I now said, eight from up to 8th century, then 8 to 18th century, we had this survival instinct. That's why only the Indian trade has survived over such a long period of time. And we have this innovative behavior to make more products. You see, when the economy was not doing good in the colonization, and post independence we have this task of maintaining economy and poverty and unemployment. उससे भी हम बाहर आए और हम we are uh, we are introducing now green models of business. So that's how we have its innovative behavior. Then cultural values and ethos are in the roots of India, I would say, because India is not just a trade route for goods, ideas, or techniques. Its philosophies travel through India, I would say. So, culture has been there that has attracted the world to visit India and to trade with us. Then, diverse climatic conditions. We have spices from Kerala, we have tea from Assam, we have Pashmina from Kashmir. So, India has become a one spot for all these diversified commodities. Then unique geographical location, as I said, for the Silk Road, for example, it's a connection of East and the West, and India is situated right in between of that connection. So we have a very a unique geographical location that provided us sorry, an edge in the world trade. And then sustainability and long term solutions, I would say Indians has a have a long term orientation towards solving problems. That's how we are using we have this sustainable approach towards our problems. So all in all, India showcased a model where economic growth did not come at the expense of environment. In today's world where sustainability is a pressing concern, revisiting these practices could provide valuable lessons for the future. So that's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Miss Shreshtha. It was wonderful. It was like really wonderful. You presented it very well, from ancient India to colonial to post-independence. जो trajectory है trade और sustainability की, which you explained us, it was wonderful. बहुत simple और बहुत easiest way में आपने उस सारी informations को रखा, and your PPT was fantastic as well. Now, sorry, now we have some questions in the chat box, so let's take them. The first question is that मॉडर्न वर्ल्ड में, जैसा कि आपने अपनी पीपीटी में बताया भी था, कि बहुत सारी सस्टेनेबल प्रैक्टिसेस हैं जो कि इनिशिएट किए हैं बहुत सारे जो मॉडर्न एजेंसीज हैं जिन्होंने सस्टेनेबल प्रैक्टिसेस स्टार्ट की हैं। तो वो जो सस्टेनेबल प्रैक्टिसेस हैं वो कहीं ना कहीं कुछ इंस्पिरेशन उन्होंने हमारे जो लेगेसी है ट्रेड प्रैक्टिसेस की फ्रॉम एंशियंट इंडिया, वहाँ से कुछ ना कुछ तो इंस्पिरेशंस ली होंगी। So can you elaborate such inspirations by connecting them with the modern sustainable practices?
Yes, sure. First of all, thank you for the question. See, like I can give an example of water refinery plant. So that's one thing I talked. Same thing I talked in the ancient India. जब सप्त सिंधु सभ्यता में water management की बात करी मैंने, और जब मैंने modern times में water management की बात करी, so ये चीज similar है ancient India और modern India से. ऐसे ही मैंने sustainable agriculture practices की बात करी medieval time period में, जहाँ पे मिक्स क्रॉपिंग यूज करा जाता था, वो आज भी करा जाता है उसी तरीके से. सो that this is why this topic is so important, that we have to study the past, that will pave the way for the future. That is what companies are doing today. They are taking inspiration from the past practices. So the question is very right, क्योंकि इंस्पिरेशन हमारी कहीं ना कहीं वहीं से आई है. इसीलिए ये टॉपिक को जानना बहुत जरूरी था, कि जब जैसे हम पहले पानी को कंजर्व करते थे, जैसे हम पहले एग्रीकल्चर प्रैक्टिसेस यूज करते थे, जैसे हम पहले अर्बन प्लानिंग करते थे, दैट इज व्हाट इज कॉपीड नाउ, नॉट इवन कॉपीड, इनोवेटेड इन अ डिफरेंट वे. So that's the answer to this question.
Uh, okay, that's really a nice answer. Now the next question by Miss Komal, and she's asking how culture, trade, and AI have framed a new concept of shared identity. And as a country like India is so vast and diverse, so what approach can be used to understand the preciseness of sustainable future?
Can you repeat the question once again? It's a really good question. I need to
Okay.
hear it again.
Okay, sure, sure. How culture, trade, and AI have framed a new concept of shared identity. And as a country like India, which is so vast and diverse, so what approach can be used to understand the preciseness of sustainable future?
See, first thing is a very good question. First thing is when we talk about sustainability, I give all of the examples, okay? But one thing to notice here is everyone is going towards sustainability in their own way. So there is no one answer to going towards sustainability. Okay, हर कोई एक कोई वन वे आंसर टू नहीं है सस्टेनेबिलिटी तक जाने का. कंपनीज की बात करें तो हर कंपनी अपने तरीके से जा रही है. अगर हम लोकल्स की बात करें तो हर लोकल्स कम्युनिटी अपनी तरीके से जा रही है. Individually we have our own way of going towards sustainability. As for me, in my lifestyle I do small initiatives for sustainability, like conserving the water we use for washing rice and dal. We use that same water in our plants. We have this plants in homes, so we use that same thing. So it's my way of sustainability. Similarly, the definition of sustainability also differs from person to person. Okay, we talk about three P's: people, planet, and profits. Okay, when we talk about sustainability, these are the three bottom line that we talk about. There is three P's. Okay, so the way you go towards sustainability is dependent on your own ideology. ठीक है, जैसे आप जाना चाहें आप उस तरीके से जाइए सस्टेनेबिलिटी तक. बट बात ये है कि लास्ट में जो कंक्लूजन होगा वो यही होगा, बिकॉज वी हैव टू एज अ ह्यूमन, our basic instinct is to live more and to give towards our future generation, right? So उसको conserve करने के लिए हमारा last answer यही होना चाहिए that we are protecting the environment, we are protecting the community and the society at the same time. Or for living we need economic benefit. So that is the answer.
Okay, like basically the basic idea is same, to protect the environment and to protect something for our future, but the regions could be different behind. Okay, that's nice. Now, next question is that how will the increasing adoption of artificial intelligence in trade impact the job market, especially countries like India who are largely rely on service exports?
Um, Salen, why not this question we leave for the guest of honor? So next question.
Okay, sure, sir, sure, sir. Okay, so one more question. Which was okay, so one more question, and which is how did traditional knowledge systems and indigenous practices in different regions of India integrate environmental sustainability into trade practices? Like one or two examples, if you want to give, just for some reference. And
Yes, yes. I give an example. I give examples when we're talking about up to the 8th century, there were commodities as originated. So मैंने वहाँ पे ये नहीं लिखा कि वो commodities कहाँ से originate हुई थी. Actually उसमें ये भी है कि cotton textile जैसे कि हैं, वो that originated at that time in and around Gujarat, right? ऐसे ही बीट्स और सिल्क, एंड मैंने सिल्क का बताया, दे originated from the north eastern part, right? So these commodities originated, and the techniques to extract these commodities were very eco-friendly. Okay, so ऐसे रीजन वाइज रीजन, ये एक दो एग्जांपल्स जो मैंने प्रेजेंटेशन में भी इंक्लूड किए थे टू पिन पॉइंट देम, फ्रॉम गुजरात, फ्रॉम नॉर्थ ईस्टर्न पार्ट, फ्रॉम द साउदर्न पार्ट. सो बहुत सारे एग्जांपल है. इंडिया इज अ वेरी डाइवर्स कंट्री, बहुत सारे एग्जांपल्स हैं इसके. तो
Uh, okay, that's really nice. One more question which I want to ask, which we usually ask to all our speakers, that what is your journey with this platform GSTS? Like how you got to know about this platform, or what was the process, how you got connected with the moderators, with the team, and like जब जब आपको इस प्लेटफॉर्म के बारे में पता चला तब से लेकर आज तक, मतलब संडे तक जब आपने प्रेजेंट किया, what is your experience with all the proceedings?
see, your platform has become so famous. I got to know about it from one of my professors. She recommended me to come and talk to you. I contacted Manvi, and उन्होंने काफी briefly समझाया कि what is GSTS, and that was so commendable. It was like I was so excited to come here and to talk. Right, so your whole team बहुत comforting था सबसे बात करना. The guidance you gave me, and all of you are so exciting. Like हर सेशन के लिए आप इतने excited रहते हैं कि to help and to be here. And the guidance I get from Manish sir and from all of your team I talked, so that was commendable. So it's a really good experience. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Ms. Shreshtha. And it was really a wonderful presentation today. And absolutely a wonderful congratulations once again. Now, proceeding further, I would like to invite today's guest of honor, Professor Khuntia, once again to give his final remarks over today's talk and over today's topic.
Yeah, thank you. Am I audible, Manish? Okay.
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Yeah. Yeah, I must say, Shrestha, it's a very nice talk. In fact, when I saw your topic, I was just thinking, and you are using sustainable word. It's very commonly used in your particular talk repeatedly also. And that means you have emphasized on sustainability. The presentation is very good and wonderful because you have gone through India's evolution of India's trade. Uh, what I could know, if I look at your presentation, you are emphasizing more on the products, the way it has been developed. Thereby, you are trying to focus on, particularly, you are very much, aware about environmental pollution, products creating environmental pollution. So you are thinking that way, that let our products which is being traded be pollution free, or we protect our environment while trading, while producing. So the green concept is coming. uh, that's good. So that is the way you have developed from your, from the Harappa days, in ancient times, how the urbanization was going on. Then you are coming to a pre-independence, and exactly on the eve of independence, what was our trade practice. Then you are coming to the current scenario, that is the government is focusing on a particular way that we must trade. But let me tell you, it's very good. Your slides were very good because you have developed that way. But what I was thinking, and let me give my views on it, looking at your topic and the manner you have emphasized or focused on sustainability. You see, it's fine. Sustainability is directly related to environment, because if we don't protect our environment and create products accordingly, naturally the future generation will definitely suffer. So that is one way of looking at sustainability. Fine. But if you look at what I will rather advise you here, when you use the word sustainability as linked with trade, do also give space to SDGs, that is Sustainable Development Goals, which is, in 2030, why India, all over the world, every country, they are committed to achieve at least the goals that has been created some time back. After Millennium Development Goals, the Sustainable Development Goals were created, and 2030 was given the time for everybody to, fulfill those promises. If you look at the Sustainable Development Goals, the goal number 17, you just look at that. That is about global participation and creating the environment so that every country, in their own way, through global participation, create environment to achieve those goals. So in trade, there are 3 points which are given in Sustainable Development Goals relating to relating to trade. And what is that? Goal number 17, which is participation, it emphasizes in the area of trade three things they are saying. One is giving market access to least developed countries. Second is creating environment where developed countries give adequate support to least developed countries to increase their exports. And third is follow the rules created in WTO about uh, about duty free access to products. Duty free means there is no quota system, there is no, absolutely, they are talking about free trade, Uh, Free trade means less tariff or no tariff. So when you are talking about trade, I know that this is a crowd where you are talking which is mixed. It cannot be completely economics. But when you talk about trade, do incorporate these things also. Because after all, if we, what is sustainability here also? Because in trade, it is pure economics. When you are selling a product outside your country, when you are selling a product even inside your country, price do matter and policies do matter. So these are important things which one must consider when the person is talking about trade. So uh, your absolutely, I agree with your focusing the area of creating green environment, going green, while at the same time focus also on those green products actually have competitive market in the world international market situation. Otherwise, we will lag behind because trade brings growth. And in sustainable development, another thing is very important. We want to achieve economics prosperity through trade also. That means we must now focus on trade in such a manner that our ultimate goal of reducing poverty and inequality is also achieved. Because through trade, we bring prosperity. So that aspect, I think you must also touch. Otherwise, I also learned that the evolution of India's trade is good, and linking with it sustainability from the environmental point of view, the way Indian product has evolved. I mean, the way you threw light on that, it's very impressive. I got. That's a good way you have talked, and I must say that it's a well researched. I mean, some people have commented that you have definitely gone through the literature, you have worked hard on it, and tried to articulate in the right manner. So, congratulations for that. But my advice will be, since you are also from commerce, so do incorporate this particular thing that I told you. It's wonderful. Interacting with the audience here. Manish was telling something, Manish, that some question that I must answer. Which, what was that?
No, no, no. I just forgot that, sir, because they are bombarding question to Shrestha. That's why I'm diverting one question to you. So just I
Oh,
forgot that question.
okay.
So it's fine, sir. It's not. It's fine, sir.
But Manish,
It's
let me
fine,
tell
sir.
you, it's beautiful. Your young graduates, young people who are talking here, they are really doing a nice job. Very good. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for all the for all your remarks and for all your suggestions. And our speaker will surely work on all the suggestions which you have given today. And once again, thank you so much, sir, for joining us, for connecting us with us today. Now, proceeding further, it's time to invite a to-be speaker for 157th GSTS on next Sunday. And for this, I would like to invite Miss Aman Khan, and she will represent 157th GSTS on next Sunday. So, Miss Aman Khan, kindly elaborate your objectives and your introduction for your upcoming talk.
Thank you so much. My name is Eman Khan. I'm a postgraduate student in the Department of English, Aligarh Muslim University. And in the session that is about to happen next week, I'll conduct an analysis on the role of films, how they have disseminated propaganda and established ideologies across different historical periods. And the objectives of this talk will be to examine the role of films in disseminating propaganda, as said, and establishing ideologies. For this, I'll use various periods across history and nations. That would be the German cinema before the World War II, the Neo-Ottoman regime under the rule of Tayyip Erdogan, and the recent trends in the Indian film industry. I will also analyze the various techniques employed in film propaganda and their impact on shaping public consciousness. I will also talk about the malleability of narrative in films and how they serve these ideologies. Finally, this talk will focus on the relationships between the film propaganda power structures and they bring into question uh, how they bring into light the questions such as how films have been used to reinforce existing power dynamics, what is the influence of propaganda in shaping societal perceptions and maintaining the quo across worlds and nations. Thank you so much.
Manish,
Thank
do
you.
send also.
Sure, sir.
Yeah.
And yes, sure, sir. And kindly join us on next Sunday because the topic is really interesting. And so do join us on next Sunday as well at 5 p.m. And now it's time to wrap up the session. So thank you so much, everybody, for joining us today once again. And now I would like to hand over the moderation to Manish, sir.
Okay, thank you, Salend. So, what is my duty to invite few of my colleagues and friends and uttermost vote of thanks. So, let's get started. And when I finish this, then I'll talk to Shrestha's topic and all these things. So here I would like to invite very brief remarks by Professor Rajni from PGDAP College, Rajni Javota, ma'am. If you are here, kindly quick remarks from your side.
Thanks, sirs, for giving me an opportunity. And uh, I congratulate Professor Kantia for giving remarkable comments which add value to the presentation made by Shreshtha 3. I would like to add, since it's not my area, but it's an area of interest. Fine. So you could add multilateral trade agreements or a bit about WTO's stand regarding sustainability from inception till date, what kind of changes we have been seeing. And then in addition to OECD also recently came up in line with SDG goals, as a professor has already pointed out. So you could incorporate that in future research regarding the same topic. These are the quick remarks. Thank you, everybody. And thanks again for continuing with this commendable, activity.
Thank you, Professor Rajni, ma'am. And Srestha, you must read her books in your graduation days, corporate law and so many laws. She wrote abundant of books. Okay, Sangeeta, I quick move to Miss Komal Thakran, PhD student. So quick remarks by Komal, what you want to add and remark.
Yes, first of all, very wonderful talk by Shrestha. Congratulations. So it was a very, a remarkable talk given by her, the fusion of culture, trade, and AI that had, sculpted the collective identity, particularly that is evidently in country like India. So over the millennia, we all know that trade routes have acted and conduits of cultural exchange that, have melded the diverse ideas about the languages, ideas, customs, and shared heritage, and in the different, arenas. So I just want to add that the smart agricultural platforms, supply chain transparencies, as well as the renewable energy forecasting and eco-friendly solutions that are initiated by AI, as well as that are completely being part of this trade activity. So this is something called as sustainable idea that connects trade as well as AI. So I think this is the one of the greatest initiatives that have made by our government. So there should be some examples about it, but it was very well voiced by her. So congratulations again.
Thank you, Komal. And so she's teaching at your center, South Motibag Center, the history teacher. Okay. And now we move to Jyoti, and Jyoti is also a PhD scholar. So Jyoti, very quick remarks, and after that, Abhinav, and that's after that me. Yeah, Jyoti.
Hello, good evening, everyone. Good evening, sir. So I joined in late actually, and I could not understand the whole presentation, but I could gather the idea that we are talking about the sustainability and how it has evolutionized over ages, like how we were working on it previously and what has changed with the uh, incorporation of AI into that. So I think it was a wonderful presentation, and already many remarks have been given by sir and ma'am to her. So congratulations, Shrestha.
And she was a student of commerce, Ms. Jyoti Gupta. Now, last from my students' corner, Mr. Abhinav. So, your quick remarks.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you, sir, for this opportunity. एंड जैसा कि टॉपिक है सस्टेनेबिलिटी की बात हम करते हैं कि पुराने टाइम से लेके अभी मॉडर्न वर्ल्ड में आए तक कैसे आया तो नॉट ओनली इंडिया बट आल्सो सम अदर कॉन्टिनेंट जस्ट लाइक अफ्रीका एंड साउथ अमेरिका मेसो अमेरिका जो पहले हुआ करता था और जो भी ग्लोबल नॉर्थ के कंट्रीज नहीं है वो अभी भी सस्टेनेबिलिटी उनके कल्चर में इनरूटेड है ऑलरेडी तो वो हमारा कोई आर्टिफिशियल बनाया हुआ नहीं है जैसे ग्लोबल नॉर्थ का है बट हमारे कल्चर में है तो हमको उसको प्रमोट नेचुरली करना चाहिए और साथ साथ जो है जो ग्लोबल नॉर्थ का एजेंडा है जैसे जो एसडीजी एजेंडा बनाए हुए हैं उन्होंने वो हमारा बेसिकली इनरूटेड आइडिया है तो उसको हम प्रमोट कर सकते हैं अपने कल्चरल आइडिया से एंड पीपल टू पीपल कनेक्ट
Thank you, Abhinav. It's really wonderful to with young scholars and professor. So now it's 120 seconds. So I'll give take leverage to 240 seconds. So after all, it's really very fascinating talk by Shreshtha. And the point added by Professor Janmejay Khushia, it's really wonderful uh, to add up some new things on your idea. Those Shreshtha was up to mark about the SDG goals in the first few lines, but sir, you have wonderfully depicted and carried whole the idea of sustainable development. So my question is simply that Sesta pronounced guru of organic food, green buildings. So as a teacher and as a research scholar, so green tea in green cup. Do you eliminate or do you believe the sustainable development policy? So we need more development towards the idea. So and sir has point out it, but I am blunt because sir is not very open right now because he's guest of honor. But I think so because we need more development. Because yesterday I wondering about the outskirts of Delhi, and I very awestruck in the negative sense. People are living in a very destitute condition. So sustainable development, it's I think it's a word, and we have induced in each and every part of world. It's not the urban settlement, green building, green power. So I'm not criticizing Sestha because you are a research scholar, so you work upon this. We need to harness all these things to the lower point, as Gandhi told us, सबसे आखिरी बिंदु तक हमें पहुंचना है. So that's why I'm using this is my phrase और अभी बनाया कि green tea with green cup, whether we follow the sustainable development goal. So no, we have to do more thing because I'm not because this topic and talk is so fascinating. So I'm not going to give more aspect, but only one. Why India was the best guru? Because I'm a modern Indian student. So listen, only one data like 1750, the share of world manufacture by India 23 to 24%, 1800 19.7%, 1816 8.6%, and 1913 it's only 1.4%. And look who were there, Britishers were there. So every time I'm not pronouncing that for every bad thing British was responsible for this trade demolition. Definitely British economy policy was responsible, and you wisely portray by the drain of wealth, deindustrialization of agriculture, and the that the third one, land revenue policy and the commercialization of agriculture. So yes, they did, and they depleted our resources like anything. So till 1944, और उसके बाद की कहानी आप लोग जानते हैं. So that's it from my side for the academic purpose. But now the next duty, vote of thanks. So firstly, I thanks to SLC students, Shyam, Lija, Pius, Avinash, Aman, Utkarsh, Saurya, Tanishq, Simran, Shyam, Aman, Anamika, Jain, Muskan. So Shreshtha, look, you are here. So your alma mater also participated in this, and I'm sure from my college, I don't think this much people has joined in this conference. Okay, is this talk. So thank you very much, Shrestha. You were really wonderful, depicting your ideas. And as usual, Khutia sir, बिकॉज प्रोफेसर तो हम लोग नहीं बोलते हैं, हम लोग सर को खूंटिया सर ही बोलते हैं, और खूंटिया होता है तो खूंटिया सर. एंड रियली इट्स इंटरेस्टिंग एंड fascinating to listen to you in the front of young scholar, and I know you restricted yourself very amicably. So thank you very much, sir, for coming and grace this occasion. And Shrestha, you are awesome. So thank you very much. And the next speaker, Aiman Khan, and she's talking on the cinema, this sustainability. And Aiman Khan is joining through a very sustainable environment, the lush green environment behind her. So this is good, the sustainability to the cinema. So this is the importance of this platform. And as usual, Shalendra, you are wonderful moderator, though you are not up to the mark. Due to the cough and cold, you are not up to the mark today, but it's fantastic. So it's time to leave, sir. सर कुछ बोलना चाहते हैं सर?
नहीं, थैंक यू वंस अगेन, बहुत अच्छा लगा.
So thank you, sir.
हाँ, मैं इसमें जितना संभव होगा ज्वाइन करने के लिए कोशिश करूंगा. आप मुझे लिंक भेजते रहना. बहुत अच्छा लगा
सर. नाउ अगेन आई एम वेरी क्रिटिकल. सब लोग बोलते हैं सर, लेकिन कोई 2 और 3 बार से अधिक ज्वाइन नहीं कर पाता है सर. It's I know the Sunday evening, and though it's 5 to 6, it's very difficult. Sir, but only pass this idea to students. I know for a teacher or doing the Sunday 5 to 6, it's very difficult. Me and my students are working from since this is our 3rd year, sir. Continuous 156 talk, and this is 3rd year. So try you to disseminate this idea to your students, because it's ultimate for our students. So thank you very much, and thank you all my MA, MPhil and PhD students, my undergrad students, and my colleagues from the Shyam Lal Evening College and other colleges, just like JP Singh from IT College, Rajni ma'am from PGDAB College, so many. So because we are running late, so thank you very much. So former Prime Minister, can we leave?
Yes, sir, and thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, Shreshtha, for such an interesting topic.
Thank you.